Smashu. This is gonna be my series of creating a manga. And this is not a regular manga. This is a silent manga. So in order for me to hold myself accountable, I want to document my progress and share the struggles I have during making this manga. So the challenge is called the SMA 19 Challenge. Silent Manga Audition Challenge. The challenge, in short, is you are going to create a manga and it's with no dialogue. No dialogue. Shut up. You are not supposed to talk right there. No dialogue. And you know, this is my first time ever creating a manga. The only manga I've ever created is like a small comic from when I was a little toddler, like 5 years old, like eee. And also I made a birthday present for my brother. So you can say I'm a total new beginner to this. If you haven't watched the first episode of me creating this manga, hit that shit right there. I finished the face design. So what happened in the prior episode, I tried to design 2 characters for my main story. If you haven't watched the video of the main story, basically it's 2 boys, and when you are born you get a wristband like this one, and you get a randomized number on it telling you when you are gonna die. Damn, that's crazy. Spoiler alert for this manga is that the first boy lives to like 8 years old, and the other boy lives for like a half an hour, and then it explodes. But it's okay. It is what it is though. This is the design for the character who's gonna be blown the fuck up. This is when he says goodbye or very like crying like eee. And I tried some different angles for him, and I think I was pretty proud of this, or at least I think it looks good, so I can use it in my manga. And you know, from the prior episode I showed these faces that I tried to design. This was actually the first design, or the first character I tried to design. But then I continued on the design, and I tried some different angles, so this is what it looked like. And when I was happy with them, I tried to like have them together, so I could see them like, oh, this is how they are going to look together in the manga. So here's like a small concept art of him looking really intensely, and then seeing him live for 20 days. He actually lives for more than 20 days. So in order for them to look different, I chose to have one guy with black hair, which is this, and I switched up the like eyes, because these eyes are not exactly like these. These are more roundish, and the other ones are more not round, but they have this shape. This shape. Okay, it's still round, man. It doesn't have this roundness, it has like an oval to it. And I also made different eyebrows, so you see these are pretty pointy, while the other guy has like a roundish shape. Because I wanted to have this character a little bit more soft, like ee, like that. And also the face shape, or like the structure of the face is different also. If you see the jawline here, it's much more lower to the ground. I don't know how to explain it, but this is more pointy. You see this? See this jawline here? This is more pointy. So this is about it for the character design. But then, after I designed the characters, I need to put this on the body. This is what I did here. I put them on the body, but prior to that, it's actually kind of hard to like put them on a body. I had to watch a YouTube video on how like proportions for different age groups works. In the YouTube video, they show like the normal proportions for normal human beings, but manga characters look older than how they look on the manga. So let's say JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Giorno Giovanna. Giorno Giovanna. He looks like 20 or 18 or 20 or 22, but he's 15. That's crazy. So I, in the end, I went with like the feeling of how tall the proportions should be. So what I did, I took these clothes or these poses from Pinterest, and I simplified the clothes from Pinterest to here, and also on this guy. So since this is a silent manga, like shh, it doesn't really make sense to write out a story. or that was what I thought. But if you write out the story, then you can write out a script, then you can write out the storyboard, and then you can draw your manga. I'm gonna talk about the things I just said, because maybe some of you doesn't really know the words. Scripting, storyboarding, what the fuck is that? I'm explaining. Chill, you chill, man. So the biggest struggles of making this whole, or this story is I knew what the end would be. So I could easily like write out the last part of the story. But the beginning I started to write out, and that was kind of easy also. But then the middle part, like how does this character go to this? How does a wholesome manga go from a person dying? But that's the fun of it. That's where you come in and you problem some shit and you're like So how did I figure this out? I wrote the beginning and I wrote the end. And I tried to write as much as I could with the end and the beginning. So I have this small middle part. Because I didn't know what this middle part was about. So I had a belief of when I was going to script. Scripting is basically the actions a person takes, or what happens in the manga. Like a script from the movie. Before an actor acts out his actions. Whoa, pause. He has a script to go from. The movie doesn't just happen. You have a script before the movie happens. I'm gonna show you. Here's a basic script of what I have done for the silent manga. Oh, it's called It's a Beautiful Day to Die. But as you can see, like a sample from the script could be like shows a bridge and then zooms into it being a man running from his life, then zooms into his face agonized, then showing the clock showing 10 seconds left, then 2, 1, he jumps the bridge and explodes. So that's just an example of how you can write your script. So when I wrote the script, I actually came up with the whole story. But if I didn't come up with the whole story, I would move on to storyboarding. But since I already storyboarded the whole shit, I just moved on to storyboarding. And what is storyboarding? So the storyboard is used to visualize the whole manga with the help of drawing, like the most basic of what happens in each and every panel. So when I storyboarded, I actually figured out like more of how I could like write the story, because it had some like wormholes or plot holes. Yeah, plot holes that I was aware of. I came up with when the kid saw his watch telling him he's gonna die in 30 minutes. I wanted him to call his friend, and then they would go out and meet up with each other, and they say goodbye. Since he's a kid, he goes to school and he lives with his parents. And I was like, isn't it kind of weird that he goes out from his house and doesn't tell his parents to say goodbye or something? I would spend my last minutes of my life with my parents. Oh shit, that's so sad. You understand, it's crazy. You cannot just leave your parents behind. So then I swapped out parents from one parent, which is an alcoholic, which doesn't care about his son, which made it a whole lot easier to come up with to fill the plot holes of the story. So right now I know the story. I've scripted out the actions the characters will take. I've done the storyboard, so now I see like this is how it's gonna turn out. And it was actually a pretty cool experience to see like what the story was about. And now, since Procreate doesn't have like it's not optimized for making manga, so I have to import everything into Clip Studio Paint. But man, I know like 5 things about Clip Studio Paint. I've never used it so much actually. But then I watched this dude. His name is called Vandal Marchen, or Vandal Marchen. He made a video called How to Make Manga in Clip Studio Paint In-Depth Guide. It's like 36 minutes and you learn everything about all the technicalities of how you make the manga. So I imported the storyboards into Clip Studio Paint, and then I had to figure out how to do paneling for everything. And paneling is basically the small panels. You have your page, and then you have small panels on the page. The panels is in the page. You understand this, man, okay? And now I'm at the point of I'm starting to sketch out the whole story. So I storyboarded the small, easy sketch, and right now I'm beginning to sketch out the story so you can actually see what's happening. And then after that, which I've not done, is inking, which is the final stage of the whole process. What I need to do this week, I need to sketch out the whole story, And then after that I will move on to inking. And then I think I'm pretty much done. And then I will send it into the website, the challenge. Then I'm done. So if you like this video, make sure to click that subscribe button. Just smash it! Smash it! And I hope you enjoyed this process video. And I'll see you next time. Woo!